it isn't just black people or white people, but somehow there are both black and white people in the streets, and everybody seems to be getting along with everybody. And that is so refreshing after so many years of, it's easy to understand the criticism of whites by blacks. Whites have been more hesitant to criticize blacks, but I have the feeling that the black movement has not always helped itself when it kind of organized alone.
And I'm just amazed by the crowds and by seeing people with their hands up. Oh, that's a nonviolent message. Taking a knee, sitting on the ground. You are not a threat to somebody if you are sitting on the ground.
I think I'm the only person in what we like to call the movement, and what I still refer to as the movement with a capital M. I thought the attitude toward the police or soldiers, but peace were more immediately in your face, was terrible, because whites, intimidated by black radicals, called white policemen pigs. And I said, tell me a radical movement that has succeeded without, to some extent, winning the sympathy of the armed persons on the other side.
I think it's very encouraging to us to see so much spontaneous nonviolence, especially given the polarization in this country.
1961-62, Yale had called up. They'd been impressed with something I'd written, gotten published, and invited me to come for a job interview. And I went to New Haven, and the man who took me around told me not to leave my briefcase in the car at lunch because we were in Darktown, and not to consider he assumed we wanted to buy a house. We had never bought this is the only house we've ever bought, and we've been here 40-some years. But he assumed we were going to buy a house, and he said, well, if I were you, I would stay away from a certain suburb because the sons of Abraham are numerous there. And I thought, well, this may be the Yankees, this may be the big leagues, but I haven't sunk that low. Being militant, appearing militant, was a good way to win credentials in the movement. It didn't really do much to change the world, and so Alice and I found ourselves rather isolated. I had lost my livelihood. The movement on behalf of which I had done all this had gone screwy. And
Black power, too.
Pardon?
Black power?
Yeah, black power. Whites like myself were of no account anyway. So it was difficult for several years, and then we decided we would both go into the law.
During World War II, I went to a school where I was the only girl in my class who wasn't Jewish. In general, people who are conscientious objectors are a minority. Growing up, being concerned about race relations was to be in a minority. I just always assumed that I would be on the fringes.
For over a century, Farmers National Bank has stood strong. Through booms and busts, peaks and valleys, we've learned to know the seasons and how to grow in each of them. During challenging times, everyone is reminded of the value of solid relationships in both life and business. Farmers, stand strong.